Welcome back. In today's lecture, again I am going to continue the basic variational problem. And in this lecture, I am going to cover the third class of problem where I am going to assume that final time is free and state xtf. I am interpreting x as a state, but you can interpret anything. xtf is specified. In the previous class, what we have found that xtf is basically free and tf is specified. So let us try to revise the two basic variational problem, and after that we are going to see connection of two variational problem with this third problem, and after that I will continue same like the type 1 problem as well as type 2 problem. So again you can see that I have this scalar function x and I am assuming that xt belongs to some class of function omega which is continuously differentiable, and after that I have to find x star such that whatever value of this particular integral where g is the functional g x t x star integration from t0 to tf, that basically belongs to R, and I am defining this as a functional, and I have to find x star such that this functional has a relative extremum. And what we found in last two class that in type 1 problem basically both end point as well as end state is fixed, and after that necessary condition in order to existence of this x star is governed by this particular partial differential equation. You can see that partial differential equation is involved, and if you solve this equation, we have already seen that this equation is not so simple to solve. Here basically this x contain x star, x dot star, and after that t, similarly g. Means in order to simplify the symbol I am not going to use this, so this is actually assumed. So solution of this in some case is second order differential equation, and we have two boundary condition, so it is possible to solve. So this is necessary condition and this is given by Euler. What we found in type 2 problem that basically in time is fixed, and after that this xtf, that is final state, that is free. Again what happens that apart from this Euler equation, in the existence of the solution of x star such that we have certain kind of extremum value, so necessary condition is again given by Euler. Again I have three different argument x dot star, and after that t, similarly here, and after that actually natural boundary condition comes into picture, and that is in terms of xtf and other boundary condition, because one point is already fixed, so one can specify like this xt0. and again if you see the solution in some special case most of the problem, then this is second order actually differential equation with two different boundary conditions, so one can solve this problem. So till now what we have found that in both case you can see that t0 and tf is fixed. So variation in t0 to tf, that is basically variation about this delta x t0 delta tf, that is 0, and due to that reason overall variation is just due to this state, means x0, so delta x0 is not varied, but delta xt you can see. So overall variation is only due to delta xt. But today's lecture we are going to see the type third problem, and in this particular problem I am going to assume that basically end time is not fixed. So now total variation is not only due to the variation of delta xt. Now total variation is also comes into picture due to the variation of the time, means delta tf, and due to that reason means you have to little bit careful about the calculation. At the end of this lecture you are again going to see that again Euler equation comes into picture. So basically somehow in last, whenever both are free, that is type 4 problem we are going to discuss in the next class, again we are going to see that again Euler equation comes into picture, and every time since we are giving some kind of flexibility, so due to that reason now boundary condition is going to change. So let us start the today's lecture. So main goal of the today's lecture to find a necessary condition. So in today's lecture I am going to again extend the problem whatever we have seen till now to more general case. So our problem statement is find a necessary condition that must be satisfied by the extremal of the functional, and I have defined functional in the same way, and here I am assuming that t0 is specified. So basically the I am assuming that I know some kind of things, and that particular thing is nothing but I am assuming that this t0 is known to me. Tf is basically that free, and basically I am assuming that since t0 is known, so xt0 equal to x0 and xtf equal to xf. So we are assuming, and if you see the admissible curve, so curve is like this. You can see that t0, since initial state x0 and xf, where you can also interpret that suppose you have started your car at t0 and you have to reach to certain destination xf, but you are not knowing that when you are going to reach, but what is your aim? You want to optimize your path. So similar kind of problem this is. So basically I do not know when I will reach here, but I know the destination. My destination is xf, but in this process I have to minimize some kind of functional, which is function of xt, x dot t and t, and after that we have to also, after finding the solution, we are able to see that at what time basically we will reach and what is my path. So after completing this lecture I will take one problem, and after that discuss how basically one can solve this class of problem. So basically in this class, basically end point, you can see that this is end state is fixed, but final end time, that is free. If you are, I am going to simplify this problem because I have to do some kind of mathematical analysis, and due to that reason I am assuming that this particular curve, which is joining from x0 to xf, is the extremal curve, which basically going to minimize this or extremize this particular function g, and we have already seen the definition of g like g x t, after that x dot t and t and into dt. So we are assuming that this particular curve, which is joining from here to here, that is going to extremize this particular functional. So if you are knowing this, then automatically you are knowing the tf. But now we are going to see the neighboring curve. So if we are telling that this is my extremal curve, so neighboring curve I can define like some curve, again fixed point is x star, but basically time is different, that is tf plus delta TF. And now from figure it is apparent that delta xt, that is xt minus x star, has meaning only in the interval t0 to tf, since xt is not defined for this time interval. So even if you are seeing the neighboring curve, so you can see that this particular extremal curve is only defined from here to here, but that is not defined in this particular interval. We do not know the definition of this extremal curve, and this observation will help to simplify the integral. So what we are telling basically, now I am going to take the increment, and increment we are going to take the increment of basically the extremal curve with respect to some neighboring curve. So neighboring curve exists from t0 to tf plus delta tf. Extremal curve is only exists from t0 to tf, so integral is only from t0 to tf. And after that neighboring curve, I am assuming that is exists for delta tf. Similar kind of assumption you can assume that if you are going to consider the neighboring curve that is now like this. So at that time just sign of this integral will change, but I am only seeing in the positive side, and due to that reason means, and analysis remains the same. Due to that reason, just you have to become specific that suppose you are assuming that this is my extremal, means this is this functional, actually x star is extremal, x star is the going to extremize this functional, and due to that reason that will satisfy this kind of relationship. And after that now you can see that delta delta j, because this is neighboring curve and that exists from t0 to tf plus delta tf, and due to that reason this kind of particular integral, definite integral comes into picture, but this will exist only from t0 to tf. I hope that these things become clear to you. Now what I am going to do, I am going to now divide this particular definite integral into two parts, t0 to tf, and after that tf to tf plus delta tf, and such that we are again going to come up with same kind of integral. If you remember the type of problem 1 and type of problem 2, so basically I have this kind of integral, whatever integral I have, and actually here some extra part here I have. I can also rewrite this particular quantity like this, because x is neighboring curve, and due to that reason I am representing neighboring curve by x star t plus delta xt, and x star dot t plus delta x dot t, and t remains the same. So you can also write like this, like that, and after that means delta j, and every other thing remains the same. Now what I am going to do, I am going to take the Taylor series expansion about x star and x dot star of this particular part, whatever. Due to that reason I am going to make this kind of arrow such that things become more clear to you, and this kind of things we have done several times. Now what we are going to do after Taylor series expansion, you can see that this particular quantity g x star x dot star t actually become cancel out, and after that I have some variation with respect to delta x and some variation with respect to delta x dot, and due to that reason basically these two definite integral, if you see that these two definite integral t0 to tf basically comes into picture. And after that I have some higher order term. I am representing like this particular thing, and I am not worried about higher order term, because finally from the increment I have to just collect the variation, and due to that reason we are just believing on first order approximation. And after that now I have this particular term, and if you see the type 1 problem and type 2 problem, basically we are doing up to here, but here I have this particular extra term, so I have to take care about this particular extra term, and it is possible to show that I can again able to write this particular second integral again in terms same like the Taylor series expansion, I can able to write like this, that g x t x dot t plus t. So I have one term due to because here I have variation tf plus delta tf, where we are assuming that delta tf is very small, and due to that reason I have one term like this, and after that I have higher order term. So basically I am going to preserve this first order variation term in terms of delta tf, and after that we are not caring about this, because everywhere somehow I have to separate those kind of term where first order variation is basically involved. And after that what I am going to do, that I am going to take integral part of this particular quantity, means this particular quantity integral by part of this particular quantity, because it is possible to show that delta x and delta x dot. So if you know delta x dot and initial condition, it is possible to calculate delta x, and due to that reason, in same like the type 1 and type 2, I am going to express delta x dot in terms of delta x. So by taking integral part and after that rearranging term, it is possible to show that I can able to write like this, delta g x dot x star tf and delta x tf, and after that I have this kind of term. And after that what happens, that now finally I will get this kind of term, and again I have collected all higher order term using this particular operator. Now we are you can see that whatever simplification we are doing, we are assuming that delta x t0, because t0 is fixed and x t0 is fixed, and due to that reason variation of this equal to 0. So this kind of simplification everywhere you are going we are doing. So what is my suggestion? You can take copy and pen and try to simplify this, then you are able to understand the whole calculation, and it is very simple calculation. Means you have to just think only two things, that whenever delta x dot come into picture, by using integral part you have to express in terms of delta xt. After that everywhere you have to just take care about the first order variation in terms of x means xtf or in terms of tf. And after that now what we are going to see, that this term whatever g x t x dot tf and t, so it is possible, again this is tf, can be expressed in terms of, so this is basically neighboring, means whenever we are seeing the neighboring curve, after that the internal part of functional is going to change, and basically it is possible to again use the first order approximation of this, and I am able to write like this, and so I have to take variation in terms of tf, delta x tf and delta x dot tf, and again I have higher order term. And what we are going to do, after doing all calculation, I am again going to come up with this integral delta j. So in place delta j, so this kind of quantity I am going to substitute from next calculation, this part, internal part, and after that now I am going to just collect the first variation. Whenever we have multiplication of two variation, then that is again we are going to neglect. And if you are going to do this, then finally please check it, we are going to get this term as well as this term, and after that I have some kind of definite integral, and after that I have certain kind of higher order term. Now one more important thing here, you try to see that I have here that delta xtf and delta tf. Now what we are going to see, we are going to establish some kind of relation, and that relation is basically in delta xtf and delta xtf and delta tf. So let us try to understand why basically this relationship comes into picture, because using this relation it is possible to again simplify this integral, this first integral. So basically what happens that delta x tf, which is final state, which is neither 0 nor free, you can see that this particular thing is fixed, means I know that where I have to basically converge. So I have started from t0 xt0, and after that I know the end point. So end point most of the case that is not 0 nor that is free, because that is depending on the delta tf. So the xtf is free, but delta xtf is always depending on the selection of this delta tf. So if you are seeing the neighboring curve, and if that is larger, it is possible to see that this is also larger. So from figure I will tell you that from figure, if you are here, so I have basically now this kind of things. And again you can see that if you are here, then again you have to see the distance between actually this point, and after that you have this point. So that is basically varying. Now what happens, the variation of j delta j consists the first order term of increment delta j. Therefore dependence of delta xtf and delta tf must be linearly approximated, and again one can approximate like this. So approximation is like this. You can also actually able to understand this in terms of slope. So whenever we are calculating the differential of some quantity, so basically we are calculating differential about this particular point tf. So and you know that how to calculate the differential. So basically here the variation along the x-axis, and after that this is differential into delta tf, that should be 0. Or basically we are telling this kind of things, means this is actually variation, so first order variation, and this is variation in time. So and basically we have already seen that variation and this whatever things that comes into picture, that is the differential. So using this particular relation, it is further one can simplify. So we have already seen this in the if you remember, whenever I have introduced the variational calculus, at that time basically I have talked about this particular thing. So that is also clear from this particular curve. Now I think that this is very easy. And after that, now what you can do, you can from 1 and 2, again you have to just simplify the integral. So and after that what we have to do, you have to just concentrate on those kind of term where basically first order variation is involved. So I am just going to calculate the first order variation, and so from the increment I am going to collect the first order variation, and that I have defined as a delta j x star delta x star. So that is just a calculation. And now basically important step comes into picture, that total variation. I have told you that when I have started the lecture, that total variation is the partial variation of j caused by delta x. So basically here from same kind of things you can see in this particular calculation. After, so what we have done, we have first calculated the increment. After several simplification, I have collected those kind of term which is of first order in terms of delta tf and delta xt, and after that what we found that this total variation, this delta j is due to now this particular multiplication as well as this particular multiplication. So this term we are telling that variation in terms of delta tf, and this is in variation of delta xt, and due to that we have written like this: partial variation of j caused by delta x, and where t is basically belongs to t0 to tf, and partial variation of j caused by the difference of the endpoint, that is delta tf. So basically total variation comes into picture now due to the end state as well as end time. In tab 1 and tab 2, basically both end point are fixed, and due to that reason total variation is just due to first term. So whenever you are removing the restriction on TF, then you have to modify your analysis like this. Now let us come to the necessary condition. So again, for necessary condition, just we have to put total variation equal to 0. So now I am going to use some kind of observation from the type 2 problem. Type 2 problem means what we have seen, that whenever end time is fixed but TF, XTF, that is free. So if you remember in type 2 problem, at that time what we are telling, that in a special case type 2 problem is equivalent to type 1 problem, and after that we are making variation equal to 0, and after that what we found, that we have one kind of necessary condition from the Euler equation, and second one, that natural boundary condition comes into picture. So similar kind of basically logic we are also going to use here. So what we have seen in type 2 problem means end states are fixed but initial time is given but final time is not given, so final time is free. So we argue that extremal for this free point is also extremal for the particular fixed end point. So basically now in type 2 problem, what we are assuming, that both end point means time T0 and TF is fixed but XTF is free basically. So what is our observation, that whenever we have this kind of things, then basically due to the fixation of these 2 points, basically this part of integral that is equal to 0. So second part means I am talking about this particular part. So due to that reason means Euler equation basically comes into picture. And after that, now try to see here that since integral is 0, even if for any arbitrary delta TF, then only I can talk about the necessary condition, because we know that whenever we are talking about the extremal, at that time variation that should be 0. So since delta TF is arbitrary, due to that reason only one condition that comes into picture, that whatever coefficient that is that with delta TF, that should be 0. So similar kind now, so whenever you have some kind of variation, so you know that basically here delta xt, that is arbitrary, similarly delta xtf is arbitrary. Due to that reason whatever coefficient, just you have to keep that equal to 0. And if you will do that, then basically again boundary condition comes into picture, and that is in terms of again some kind of partial differential equation, and this is the basically boundary condition. So this kind of modification basically comes into picture, and after that now you try to see that how basically one can use this kind of idea to solve some kind of problem. So again I am going to take same problem, this problem basically gx, same kind of gx basically we have taken in previous class. So same in this class also I am going to continue with the same gx. So this is gxt x dot t into t. So basically t is not explicitly involved, so also you can write this as a gxt into x dot t. So this kind of basically functional we have, and after that I have boundary condition like this. So when we have started means t equal to 1, at that time state is 4 and tf state equal to 4, but condition is that tf is free, and we are assuming that that is greater than 1. So now I have to calculate the tf and I have to calculate the x star. So we have to calculate x star in such a way such that that is going to minimize this particular functional or extremize this particular functional, and I have to calculate the time also. So again, first step we have to solve the Euler equation, and that is very simple, because everywhere in each and every problem we are solving same kind of integral, and after the same kind of partial differential equation, and after that what we are going to do, that just new boundary condition basically comes into picture. So this is the solution. So x double dot star t equal to 2. So please check it. This is pretty easy to check, and after that whenever we have second order equation, then this is the solution, t square c1 t plus c2, and c1 and c2 is some kind of constant involved in this equation, and after that whatever boundary condition we have derived by in order to make that variation equal to 0. So from that we have this kind of equation comes into picture. Now we are going to put all kind of boundary conditions. So I know that when I have started t equal to 1, at that time this is 4. So I have to just solve this particular algebraic equation, and after that final TF, we don't know what is TF, but at least I am able to know that that is equal to 4, and after putting 4 we are going to get this kind of equation, and basically this kind of equation comes from that particular condition by solving this kind of condition, because whenever we are solving the type 3 problem, at that time this kind of things comes into picture, and by using this kind of relationship x star tf and half x star equal to 0, I will get this kind of equation, and after that you can just do the solution. So basically this is the extremal curve or extremal function, and time is 5. So in this way you are able to solve the problem. So suppose that you are traveling from one point to another point, you do not know the time, but you want to travel optimally, then in this way also you are able to solve the problem. So now let us come to the conclusion. So till now what we are doing, we are just solving the very simple problem where basically functional is function of only one variable, and after that obviously we have to generalize, and after that what we are going to do, that we are actually playing with the end conditions. So now only one end condition remaining, that suppose that now in the next class we are going to consider the more general case, and after that we have to show that that more general case, for whatever a special case till now we have deal, then that will also satisfy. So you can see that if you are able to understand the how to solve the optimal or extremization problem of some functional for one variable, it is also possible to extend for the multivariable, and obviously we are going to use same kind of methodology to design the optimal control problem. So with this remark I am going to close the today's lecture. So thank you very much.